Hello and welcome, my screen name is Covert Muffin and this is an all-purpose advanced guide to Hoth2. Looking at the Tauntauns, we can build a ton of speed with the speed burst feature. Then just like with Jaden, we can maintain the speed by strafe jumping. That being said, if you change directions while strafe jumping, what ends up happening is you dismount the Tauntaun. So make sure if you switch from D to A and also change the direction of your mouse, you let go of that spacebar first. And this will be a surefire way of continuing to be able to successfully strafe jump. As you may know, another effective way of building speed is by turning. However, if we don't have a glitched out Tauntaun, you don't really see this effect much. But after we glitch out our Tauntaun, this lowers the deceleration value, and this means that we slow down at a less rate. So when we turn, we're able to add these speed vectors together and end up going faster overall. Then, after we apply a speed burst, this is also magnified by a ton. And this becomes our most powerful tool for sliding up those hills to effectively get over the invisible walls. For the start of the mission, you want to pick up Bowcaster and Thermal Detonators for Hoth2. Then while the load screen's about to finish, you want to mash the use function because this allows you to skip the first cinematic and cutscene. Then after mounting a Tauntaun initially, your speed boost will not be fully charged, so you want to make sure that you are holding it down to buffer it once you get that energy. Then curving around, if you hit this rock at the right angle, you can get a Tauntaun Super Saiyan, which launches the Tauntaun into the cave. Speed boost, hook to the left to try and get through the cave as quickly as possible. Then here the Tauntaun's going to despawn, so you jump off, get some elevation boosts, and meet the second Tauntaun. If you attempt the Super Saiyan but miss it, what you want to do is fall down to this rock in order to get some really nice elevation boosts to get through the cave quickly. Then catch some more elevation boosts before wave jumping through this section and reconnecting for some elevation boosts right here to escape the cave. An excellent alternative is just to bypass attempting for the Tauntaun Super Saiyan and use the momentum to throw yourself into the cave with a dismount. Then with some jump cancels, you can reconnect with the normal chain and continue through the cave. Next, it's a good idea to talk about where the second Tauntauns can be, because they can walk off to some funny locations. So first off, they're always going to spawn in the same spot, which is here at the Gold Star, and most commonly you'll find one here. However, if they're feeling a little spicy, they may decide to head to the jalapeno pepper route and head to the left, so be ready to chase them down there. That being said though, if they're feeling a little naughty, they can run away with your PB and travel in the exact opposite location, which is over to the right with Krampus. A nice little time save can come from being able to control the Ice Skater Tauntaun effectively and set it up very fast. So first, as we travel over to the hill and walk up it, I let go of W right before I hit the top of the hill in order to not fly up and over it. And this allows me to glitch it out a little bit quicker. If you look over at the no board setup, you can see me let go of W and tap it in order to get over really fast. Also, right before you glitch out the Tauntaun, you can actually turn mid-air. And this allows you to throw the Tauntaun into a favorable direction. This easily becomes an effective optimization, because it lands the Tauntaun closer to where we want to set up for the skip itself, thus saving time. If you want to get a little bit crazy, you can actually turn 180 degrees in the air. And this brings the Tauntaun directly back to you. But this is really hard and not very safe, so I don't suggest doing it. So this first setup for Tauntaun Skip really beautifully demonstrates all the mechanics we've talked about so far. So first glitching it out, throwing it to the right puts it closer to the point. Then after we remount it, walk up the hillside right here to slide over into a fast setup. Then boosting, turning to the left, turning to the right, allows us to build a lot of speed over the invisible wall, keeping it with some nice strafe jumps. This fast setup can seem a little bamboozling. So here's an image demonstrating the visual cue I look for before I boost. To the left of the black mark, and then looking to the right. Consistently sliding into a fast setup can be tricky and take a lot of practice, but don't worry if you miss it, just nudge yourself over into position and continue the trick as normally. Another advanced tip is you want to try and land on top of the invisible wall, because our speed boost is still active, thus getting us a lot of speed. Overall, this first setup is incredible, because it beautifully demonstrates the mechanics of the Tauntaun. It also gives us access to the lowest hanging invisible wall in this section that we know of. And because of this, this setup is very consistent, very clean, and very effective. This second setup starts pretty much the same as the first. We're going to glitch out the Tauntaun, throwing it to the right, but then after we remount the Tauntaun, we're actually going to walk up the hillside closest to us, because the setup for the skip is a little bit closer. Then after we boost, throw yourself to the left again to get over the same invisible wall and travel downwards. This setup's really nice because it gets us a lot of height really easily. Once again, we're going to apply a really nice visual cue circled here in red. I stand slightly underneath it and then look to the right. A lot of the difficulty of the first setup is building a lot of height, because it's pretty difficult to get enough height to get over the invisible wall. But with this setup, it's really easy to get a lot of height. So if we focus more on our horizontal speed, throwing ourselves over to the left, we can get over the same short invisible wall. Another important note about this setup is that after I throw myself really quickly horizontally to the left, I curve back to the right while holding W plus D and turning my mouse to the right. This allows me to effectively strafe jump through the air with the Tauntaun and get over the wall a little bit more consistently. The convenience of being close to the glitch out point definitely cannot be underestimated, which then brings us to our next setup, which is even closer to the glitch out point. So in this final setup, after we glitch it out, we're pretty much turning 180 degrees and moving just a tiny bit to the left. This one's a little hard because you need a ton of height because the invisible wall is really high and close to the ceiling. So what we do is come over to the left, boost, turn to the left sharply, and turn to the right to bring us over the invisible wall. Then if you can hit that cliff there, you get a ton of speed and you fly to the final location. Once again, let's take a look at a nice visual cue. I like to stand underneath and a little bit to the left of this and then look really far to the right, because you want to be really running up the wall to the right of the mark. In a speedrun, when I go to glitch out the Tauntaun, I don't really throw it in any direction, I just go for the straight up standard glitch out. The reason is because throwing it in a direction doesn't really save much time because the setup is so close to the glitch out point. That being said though, if you want to get really crazy, you can turn it in 180, but if you have to quick save quick load by missing the glitch out, then you're losing time. Anyways, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you would like to see any of the parts again, you can just use the timestamps in the info section. Take a bath.